TJ Pierce with Pierce Family Wellness, and today we're going to talk a little bit about recovery. So when we talk about recovery, what we're really just talking about is the body's innate ability to heal itself. So you get a cut, you bleed, you scab, you heal. And that's the basic process that goes on in our body 24/7. We're making blood cells, detoxifying the liver, making brain cells, all these different things. And all these different things predominantly happen in the parasympathetic branch of our nervous system. So the parasympathetic branch, or it's also known as the rest and recovery system, is really just a system where most of the blood has found its way back into the organs, and then the blood provides all the nourishment for the organs, and then the organs in turn can do their jobs of repair, building hormones, doing the various things we need to do to heal our bodies. And so the big question is, how do we facilitate that? How do we get our bodies to be more parasympathetic more often if we happen to be unable to heal ourselves? And here at the studio, what we do is we do breathing exercises and we do some manual therapy. We do the breathing exercises because we want everyone to have what we consider a functional diaphragm. So the diaphragm is technically a muscle, and what it does is what we have to remember is that the diaphragm has attachments via the fascia to the heart, to the liver, to the lungs, to the colon, to the intestines. Okay, so every time you take a breath, what should happen is your diaphragm should drop down, and that should push the viscera out. So like when you watch a little kid breathe, you watch their little belly go in and out. Well, that's what's happening. The diaphragm's dropping down and the viscera is pushing out. And what this does is it creates a massage-like effect on the organs, and this does a number of things, but the main thing we're going to focus on is that it's assisted in peristalsis. And peristalsis is the rate at which you pass nutrients, or in this case food, through the colon and the intestines. This is important because if your peristaltic rate is too fast, which is usually associated with hyperventilation, so real fast breathers, is you don't have the new food in your intestines, in your colon, long enough to extract the nutrition out of it. The flip side of that is that when your peristaltic rate is too slow, the fecal matter actually gets backed up, and then that water is reabsorbed through the intestines and through the colon back into your system. So now you have this toxic water getting its way back into the system. So the first thing we always try to do is we try to get people to have what we consider a functional respiratory pattern, and that essentially requires the diaphragm to work. So we prescribe exercises for that to help you get your diaphragm functional. The other thing we do is we utilize manual therapy. And we utilize the manual therapy to basically balance the length-tension relationships of the muscles. So what tends to happen is on either side of a joint, one muscle tends to get tighter, the other one tends to get a little weaker, and that creates an aberrant pull. So that kind of pulls the joint out of its place, and that creates inflammation. This inflammation then in turn affects the respiratory rate, and as we just discussed, the respiratory rate is kind of the master regulator of digestion. So the main thing that we want people to understand is, one, the body can heal itself. Two, this healing process is largely relative to the parasympathetic branch of the nervous system, and then that requires facilitation through breathing exercises and oftentimes manual therapy. I'm TJ Pierce with Pierce Family Wellness. Thank you.